Okay, so we're gonna start with talking about your finals. So I'm gonna show you the finals here. So for your finals, I think if you guys check your school email or D2L, I already sent it to you yesterday. So your finals is no longer meeting face to face or in class because the campus is closed right now. So the finals is going to be using Zoom, Zoom testing. It's going to be on next Monday. So next coming Monday here, December 14th, is at 1 o'clock to 2:30, and the link is right here. So please click on this link. Do not be late. Otherwise, you lose your time. And it's a 1.5 hour long finals. It does cover chapter 3, 4, 5, and 9.1. In chapter 4, we only cover 4.1 and 4.2. We did not cover 4.3 and 4.4, which is the connect section. So these are 4.3 and 4.4 will be covered on your next class, pre-calculus, if you're enrolled to Math 1170. So this is your the chapter that we're covering. There are 12 questions in your finals, and including 2-word problems in section 5.5. So today we will be going over 5.5 in class, and we will talk about these 2-word problems. So make sure you guys pay attention because 2 of them are from this section in your finals. Review. Those students who wants to come to the review time, the review is at 12 o'clock. It is 1 hour before the final time. This review is going to be an hour-long review. So again, it's optional, but I would highly recommend you guys to come. If you cannot show at 12, you can show at 12:30, you can show at 12:15. I really suggest you guys to take Monday, if you are working, I really suggest you guys to take Monday to December 14th off. You can work after 3 o'clock or 3:30 after your test. So make sure you guys spend some time here because this is a lot to cover, and although it's only 12 questions, one of the questions has like 12 points in it. It's a very long questions, and so when you come to my review, we will go over this together. So that's the reason why that I would really suggest you guys to do this, to come to my review session. And your final is a 35% of your final grade. So make sure you do show up. Requirements: computer, laptops with webcam and mic. For the webcam, I do not want to see your face like this. For the webcam, you have to lower the webcam down. So I want to see what you're writing with your pencils and pens and everything. So make sure that when you guys do the finals, I'm not looking at your face. I want to look at what you're writing. So mostly point towards down. And then internet connections, make sure you have a scientific calculators. So make sure you have a scientific calculators. If you're using your cell phones or if you use a graphing calculators, you are not allowed to use it. So make sure you go and buy or borrow one scientific calculators for this midterm, for this finals. These 2 are not allowed. The cell phones and the graphic calculator are not allowed in the test. So if you do have one of these, you might need to spend $10 in Walmart or Target to get one of this. It's not that expensive. It's $10. Make sure you have papers, lots of papers to write on, and then your writing tools, your pencils, erasers, and all those things. How do you submit? Again, scan your papers, and then once you finish the test, scan all your papers. Make sure your papers are in order so that you do not need to the best way is write page 1, page 2, page 3, so know its order. You do not need to write the question down. I want you to write the question down, but I think time limit is the other one. So you do not need to write the question down, but make sure you write the question number down, like number 1, number 2, number 3. So that is more important. And then once you finish, use your scanner or cam scanner apps or any other apps in your phone to scan it and email it to me to college email address. The next thing I want to point out to you is the review. The review is right here. So the review for the finals, which I will be using also on the review on that 12 o'clock, the 1 hour review. If you click on this, where was it pop up? Where did it go? There you go. This is from the textbook. So there are 2 pages here. The one that I tell you to do, question 1 to 6, 10 to 15, and so on. These are for these questions. If you found out that some of the questions are like you cannot read it or something else. And then I will, you can tell it by little dots. See, if I put a little dot next to it, that means that go ahead and do those. Those are the questions I recommend you to do, to see if those little dots next to it. Otherwise, for the review, you go to the ebook. If you have the ebook, you go to the, and then you go to chapter 5. And then you go to the end of chapter 5. So when you go to chapter 5, you go to the very end. Not this one. So you go to chapter 5, you go to the very end of chapter 5, where it says cumulative test for chapter 3 to 5. This is the one that is exactly the same thing as the one that you see here. If you look at the first question, it's -8.5, -4, -7. So if you go there, they will show you the same thing like this first question, and the answer is right down here. For those students who are using the ebook, the answer is given to you straight away. But if you are using the textbook, this is a textbook that I sent to you, the answer is at the back of your book. Okay, all the answers, including the odds and even ones. Okay, so make sure you guys study for this very important, study this final test. So if you have any questions, please email me as soon as possible. If you have questions with your time conflict with this time, you cannot attend this test or something else, please email me, because this is time crunching here. I do not want you to like emails me at like 10 minutes before your finals on Monday saying you cannot take your test. That is too late. By the time that you email me, I will say that is way too late. So if you know that you'll be having issue or something else, email me right now. No, I already tell you guys to email me since last 2-3 weeks ago, and I still didn't get anything. So if I didn't get anything, it means that everyone is fine this time. So please make sure you guys email me. Very important. All right, anyone have any questions with the final test that is next Monday? Okay, if you have questions, you can talk to me after class. Today's class might be a bit long, so it might be an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes. So if you want to leave after the hour, you can actually leave if you have any class going on. So we're going to talk about the 5.3 first. Anyone have any homework questions on 5.3? Because there are 4 homework due this week. 2 of them, 5.3 and 5.4, is due tonight. And then 5.5 and 9.1 is due on Sunday, the day before your finals. So make sure that's the reason you got 4 homework due this week. So 2 of them is due today, and then the last 2 is due on the Sunday. So let's start with, so that's why I have 4 sections to go on today in today's Zoom video. So does anyone have any homework on 5.3? Any questions on 5.3? You can either put in the chat room, and you can also type 28. Okay, Mercedes, 28. Okay, very good. So question number 28 is asking us to use approximation. So it's given us that log B2 is this number, log B3 is this number, and log B5 is this number. So in question number 28, they want you to find what is log B15. So what we do here in this case is we are trying to use what we call as multiplication rule or product rule to do it. And the product rule for log says that if you multiply together, you can separate this into 2 by using addition. So this is one of the important log rule that we will use. So, and don't forget, this goes both ways, okay? So for this question, we have 15. So it's given us 2, 3, and 5. So you need to figure out what is the product or what is the factor of 15. So what times what is 15? So this is 15. So anyone know what times what is 15?
3 times 5.
3 times 5. And then because this is multiply, we can use this product rule. And this product rule says that we can actually add this. And then after that, you can use the number given to us. Log B3 is actually 0.5646. And then log B5 is actually around 0.8271. And then what you need to do next here is take out your calculator and add these two numbers up. And that will be your answer in this case, which I think you guys know how to add with your calculator. Mercedes, you okay with this one? Eric, I'm going to do 31 first because it's right down here. 31 is the same thing. So it's the same kind of questions. So log B5 B to the -5. Now, the good news about this one is this 5b is multiplied, so we can use this property. But then we also have an exponents rule. And the exponents rule says that if you have a power n, this power, you can bring it down. All these rules that I show it to you is very important. And you will be using this in all 5.4, 5.5, you know, all the last two sections here. So what we're gonna do in this question number 31 here is this -5, where we're gonna use this rule is the power rule, is we bring that -5 down. So we got -5 log B 5b. And then what we're gonna do in here is this is gonna be using the same rule as the multiplication because this has been multiplied. So what happened is since they've been multiplied and it will become something like this, like question number 28. So you have to put them in parentheses because it's two terms here. So you will get log B5 plus log BB. So this is what happens to this question here. And then what happens now is we can use approximation here now. So log B5, which is given to us by 0.8271. Plus log BB. Now, does anyone here know? Now, log BB is not here. See, there's no log BB here. Log B2, log B3, or log B5. Does anyone here know what is a log BB is? It's one of the properties that you learned last week, last Tuesday. Yes, Mercedes, that's correct. That is one. As I told you before, if your base and your argument is exactly the same, it's 1. You're correct. So in this case, what we do here is we add this one orders of operation. So we have to add this one first. So 0.8271 plus 1, you will get 1.8271. And then after that, you multiply this with -5. And that will be your answer. Take out your calculator and that will be your answer. Eric, are you okay with this one?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. So it's kind of similar to what is 28, but you have to bring down the -5. So if you have exponents, you have to bring it down first before you do the multiply and divide. Again, kind of using the same orders of operation. Number 10. Number 10. We want to rewrite these properties. Use the property of log, which is this one, to rewrite and simplify it. So again, this one is log 2 5 2 times 4 5. So what do we do in this case is because again it's a multiply. So we will use this property. So you will split this into 2 by adding it. So this will be log 2. You use the product to rewrite and simplify. Yep. So it will be 5 2 plus log 2 4 5. So once we got this, then you find out that this one has a power. Well, it has power on it. then we will apply the power product, the power rule, means the power brings up to the front. So this will be 2 log 25 plus 5 log 24. Okay, so this 2 will bring down, and this 5 will bring down. Now this is not over yet because you can simplify this. This one you cannot simplify, but the one in the back you can simplify. So can someone tell me, how do I know that this one cannot be simplified, the log 25, but the log 24 you can simplify? Can anyone tell me why this one you can and this one you cannot?
Because 4 is divisible by 2.
Yes, very good. Because of the log 2. So when you see a log 2 below here, that means that if you have an argument here, they are all multiples of 2s. Or in this case, yeah, they're all multiples of 2s. Then you can simplify it. But since this is a 5, so you cannot do it. But this one 4, you can simplify it. This is actually 4 is 2 squared, right? And as last time, if you remember, log BB is 1. So what happens to log 2? So this will be canceled out as 1. So this 2 actually will be multiplied with the 5. So in this case, your answer will be 2 log 25 plus 10. Okay, so this is, I don't know if this is the correct one. And if they mark you wrong, another way you need to do it, if they mark you wrong, is use the change of base to change this into base 10 or ln. I think it's base 10 they want. So it becomes 2 log 5 over log 2. So I don't know how simplified they want. So over log 2 plus 10. But I think this is the one that they want you. I'm going to try writing this 2 log 25 plus 10 first. So this is 2 log 25. And don't forget the log is under one of these functions. So this is the one that you're using, the log with the blank. So log 25, the 5 has to be inside the parentheses. And then plus 10. See if this is right or wrong. I'm just double check if my work is. I think they will take it. Yep, they will take it. So yep, this is what they want you to do. You okay there, Eric?
Yeah, I think I just entered it with the natural.
Yep. So make sure you enter the one with the log with the blank space underneath it for this question. Class, I just want to point out to you that there are 4 important properties here. One is the addition, the multiply. The other one that is not in here is the divide. So when you divide, we have a property for log for divide. Is it's kind of like exponents. When you multiply, we add. When we divide, we subtract. So in this case, we will be subtracting. This is the first property. We call it as the product. This is called a quotient property when we divide. This is called the power property because we power it. And then the last one that we talk about is what we call as a change of base. This change of base is used because of calculator. Your calculator do not have a log 2 or a log 3 or a log 5 or log whatever it is, but your calculator have only log base 10 and ln, which is log base e. So in order for us to figure out what is log 25 is in your calculator, so what you do here is using change of base, you just do what is log 5. The argument is always on top, and the base, which is 2 in this case, is in the bottom. So either you use that, or you do not want to use the natural, you don't want to use the common log, you can use a natural log. So this is ln 5 over by ln 2. So no matter if you use a calculator, if you type log 5 over log 2 or ln 5 over ln 2, they are the same. Same thing. class, when you put this in your calculator, when you hit the log or LM, you should have a parenthesis. Make sure when you have a 5, and don't put over 2 like this, because log 5 over 2 is not the same thing as log 5 over log 2. So this is not the same as this. Okay, so make sure you close your parentheses and then you take divided by log 2. You guys with me here? So I want everyone to go ahead and take out your calculator and figure out what is log 5 over by log 2, your calculator. My calculator is good enough because I don't like my calculator. Log 5 divided by log 2. So this is what my calculator would do. Do you guys got 2.322, something like that? Yep. So make sure you guys know how to do this because it's very important. It's very basic. So so if you see anything like log anything 5 that is not a base 10 or base E, you can always use change of base in this case. Okay. Anyone have any questions with 5.3 here beside these 3 questions? Because I need to move on to the next one. Anyone? If you do, let me know. I will talk about it after class. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is 5.4. This is where we do equations now. So we are solving equations here. So in order for us to solve equations, you have to check for your work. So remember last time when you solve equation, you want to solve for x. Checking is optional, right? Oh, you solve x equals to 3. You say, oh, I don't need to check it, right? If you want to check, fine, just plug 3 into the equation and see if you got it right. But for this case, you have to check it. So we have 2 types of equation. One is called the exponents equation, and one is called the log equation. Okay, so like this is called the exponents equation because it has exponents. This is called a log equation because it has log. So it's very easy to determine if they're exponents. So this is exponents equation and this is log equation because exponents and log, very straightforward type. If you have an exponents equation, checking is optional. Okay, so if you have exponents like this, checking your answer is optional. But if you have a log equation like this one, checking is required. And usually when I ask for checking, what you need to check here is when you put your x back into the log here, make sure your log here cannot be negative and it cannot be 0. Okay? Because log of a negative number and log of 0 is undefined. So make sure that this is what you are checking here. You do not need to plug x equals whatever in here to check it. What you need to do here is you want to check that if this argument is negative or 0 when you plug in your x in there. And if it does, then that solution is extraneous. And for extraneous solution, you have to reject it. You cannot include it. Okay, so this is part of a checking here. So I will show you what it looks like for this kind of case. Next thing is there are 2 ways to solve exponents and logs. One, if they have the same base. So if you can make the base the same, like this, the base is the same, then the exponents is also the same. Okay, same thing here, same base. Log 2x equals to log 2, 3. So again, the base is the same. It's called the same base. So in this case, x, the argument will be the same. So this is for the same base equations, but usually you don't get the same base. So what happens if you got a different base? For exponents, you do the opposite, means you have to log both sides. For example, This is not the same base because this is base 2, this is base 3. So in order for us to this is different base, to solve this, you log both sides. So you do log 2x equals to log 3. And then you can bring the x down using that property. And then you can solve for x. I'll show it to you later on. Otherwise, if you have an e, you don't log both sides, you ln both sides. You okay here? So it depends on what base you have. If your base is a number like 2, 3, 4, 5, you log both sides. If you have e, you ln both sides. For the log equations, what's the opposite of log? You exponent it. So we raise to the power on both sides. You raise. You kind of like yeah, kind of like raise to the power. You kind of like I showed to you. So if you have log 3x equals to log 4, 7, example. Again, these two are not the same base, the different base. So what you do here is you have to raise the power based on where's the x at. So the x is on this side. So the power here, the base here is 3. So you have to power 3 on both sides. And why you do that is because 3 log 3 will cancel. So you get x. And then 3 log 4, 7. Actually, 3 log 4, 7 is a number. Log 4, 7 is you have to use change of base to find the number. And then after you raise it to the power of 3. Does anyone here know how to do this one? 3 log 4, 7 using your calculator? Remember last time we did change of base. So change of base, use change of base over here. And then after that, you take 3 to the power of that number. Go ahead and try using your calculator. So using your calculator, you should type 3 power, open your parentheses, log 7, if that parentheses are close it, over by log 4. So this is what you have to do in your calculator. I'm not using this calculator because it's horrible. So make sure you go ahead and try it because these are all the questions you get in my finals next week. So make sure you know how to do this. Log 7 close parentheses divided by log 4. Do not use ABC on this one because you will make it more ickier. No, I don't get 4.20 here. It's log 7 over log 4. Anyone? It's 4 point something.
We cannot put it like 3 log 4, 7.
I'm sorry, Boha.
We cannot put it like exactly like 3 log 4, 7.
No, because your calculator, your calculator do not have base 4. Remember that your calculator only have you have it?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have it, then you can use it, but mostly all your calculators do not have a base 4. Do you get 4.67?
No, I get 4.21.
Something is wrong, then it's not the correct one.
You have to make sure you put the log 7 and log or divided by log 4 in parentheses.
In the parentheses, yes. Do you have opening parentheses here? Yeah, if you do not have this parentheses, yeah, if you don't have this parentheses, that's where you get 4.21.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you need a parenthesis here because the whole thing has to be done first before you do the 3 power. Yep, you have to do the parentheses first. So the answer is 4.67 or 4.674 as Kara said. Some people ask me about how many decimal places you want to round. Like this question, they will tell you 2 or 3. In your final, I think it's also 2 or 3 decimal places. So make sure you read the question really carefully, how many decimal places you round in this case. Boha, you okay here?
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure you are using a calculator is very important in this chapter 5. So if you doesn't know how to use it, it's goodbye to chapter 5. Anyone have questions on this homework 5.4? Anyone have any questions on? Yep, you can ask me any questions you want on 5.4. Any questions? Let's do number, because not say nothing, so I'm going to do 14 here. So by looking at question number 14, can someone tell me, is this an exponents equation or is this a log equation?
In exponents, right?
Yep, this is exponents equation because it's all exponents here. There's nothing log in question 14. So do you need to check your answer once you get your solve for x? Is optional. Okay, so how do we do question number 14 here? Is first thing is, because this is the exponent that we're talking about, right? This is the exponent here. So what you do here is you have to make this, you have to isolate it. What's the meaning of the word isolate? Means make these exponents by itself. So you need to get rid of the 9 and you have to get rid of the 17. So like solving equations, should we get rid of the 9 because 9 is multiply, or should we get rid of the 17, which is add? For example, is 9x plus 17 equals to 44. So which one should we get rid of first, 9 or 17?
17.
So we have to subtract 17. So this is the same thing. So you have to subtract 17 first. And then once you finish subtract 17, how do we get rid of this 9?
You divide it.
You divide it, yes. So this is how you get isolate, is you always do the subtraction first, then you isolate, and then you divide. So using your calculator, 44 subtracted by 17, and then divide by 9, this is 3. Because you get 27, and then 27 by 9 is 3. So my question to you is this the same base or is this different base? Is that same base or is that different base? How do we know? Is look at your base. This is called what the base is. So the base is different. So this is the one that you need to do. You have to log both sides. So you have to log both sides here. And then when you log both sides, this power, you can bring it down. So you will have 5 minus 3x. The reason why I put this in parentheses is because it has 2 terms. So do not forget, when you have 2 terms or more, you have to parenthesize it to telling us they are all in one group. So does anyone here know how to solve for x here? And if you know how to solve for x, that will be your answer in this case. So the first thing we do, anyone know how to solve for x? We will get rid of this log 4 first. And how do we get rid of the log 4? We divide log 4 both sides. Okay, and don't forget, log 3 over log 4 is a number, like change of base, is a number. It's a very icky decimal numbers. It's irrational, it means it's all a bunch of decimals at the back. And then what's the next thing you need to do once you finish getting rid of log 3 over to get rid of x is we get rid of the 5. So how do we get rid of 5? We subtract 5. And then lastly, in order for us to get rid of the negative 3, we will divide everything we have with -3. So this is what we call as exact form. So if a question is asking, I want this in the exact form, this is the meaning of the word exact form, means you are not allowed to use any calculators to figure out these numbers. So example is like this one that you just did just here. This is also what we call as exact form because we didn't use any calculators. But once you use your calculators, like for this one, this is called approximation form. So make sure you read the question carefully, what kind of form they want. Like this question number 14, they want in an approximation form. That means that don't type this. That means that you use your calculator to do this. So make sure when you do your calculator, make sure you put parentheses, extra parentheses, like what we did over on this case for this one. So go ahead, take out your calculator and start to calculate this in the approximation in 3 decimal places. That's what the question wants us to do. Go ahead. And again, class, if you doesn't know how to do this section, say goodbye to 5.5 because 5.5 is word problem, and word problem is all using all these log and exponents equations. So make sure you guys know how to 1.413, 1.403. Make sure you guys know how to do this. It's not that tough. It's just a lot of parentheses and so on. So make sure you look at your, watch out for your parentheses. -5, close your parentheses, divided by -3. Yep, 1.403 is correct. In 3 decimal place. Anyone who did not got it or who need help with this one? 1.403. You guys good? Next question is number 15. So 15 is a little bit different from the rest of this question because it has the e2x minus 9ex plus 18 equals to 0. And again, this is an exponent equation because they're all exponents form. So the only thing you need to worry about this one is because if you notice this, this is e2x and this is ex. So that means that this can be done using factoring because this one looks like x squared. So we're going to let a become ex. So the e2x is actually a squared because when you square both sides, you will get e2x. So if you replace this using a, e2x naturally is a squared. Ex is a, and then 18 plus 18. So this is what we call as a quadratic equations. So you can actually factor this one out. So can someone tell me what is a factor for this case? What times what is 18? But when you add them up, you get -9.
A minus 2.
Minus what?
2.
Minus 2 and what?
A plus 9.
That doesn't give me -9 when I add these two numbers. This is 7.
Oh, yeah. Which is the...
This is wrong. So 9 and 2 cannot be used. What else can we use for 18? Yep, 3 and 6, Kara. And both of them has to be what? Minus. So this will give us -9, but when you multiply, you get 18. So when you solve for A in this case is 3. And A in this case is 6. But we are not solving for A, we are solving for X. So what do I do is I replace all my A back to EX. So you will have EX equals to 3. And EX, because you're solving for X, we're not solving for A here. So now what you need to know here is this is different base because one is E, one is 3. And because we are using E, we have to ln both sides. So we will ln both sides here. So ln and E will cancel. So your answer in this case is ln 3. And then this one, you also do the same thing. You ln both sides. And ln and E will cancel out. So what you get is ln 6. So this is what we call as the exact form that we use. In order for you to use approximation, you use your calculator. This is easy, right? ln 3 and ln 6, you guys should know how to use your calculator to do it, right? So this is 2 answers. And again, you do not need to check your answer. It's optional. You guys doing all right here so far? With this question.
Yep.
So this is for exponents questions. And yes, in your finals, you will get 1 exponents question like this. And you also get 1 of the log questions. So we haven't done the log question yet. So we will done the log question in this case. Question number 19. Let's do the log question for number 19 here. You guys okay here? Do you guys need to take a picture of this or?
So on the test, it's gonna be like 15, the question?
No, it's 12. Read the email I sent to you. It's 12 questions.
No, I mean the question 15 that we do now.
Oh, I do not know. I cannot tell. I cannot tell you what question. No, I don't know about 15. I cannot tell you anything about it.
No, I'm just asking, is that like that question or no?
I cannot tell you.
Okay.
So 19, this is a log question. So again, this is the log part you see here. So like last time, we have to isolate this. That means you have to make this ln x by itself. So we need to get rid of this. Now, do not say this is a -4. You get all wrong here, okay? Or 3 minus 7, -4, that is all wrong. So again, like last time, which one should we get rid of first? 3 or -7? Like this one. Which one should we get rid of first? 3 or -7 when you solve this kind of equation?
3.
3. So we have to subtract 3 first. And then how do we get rid of -7? We have to divide by -7, right? So 8 minus 3 is 5. So this is 5 over -7. Again, this is different base because this is base E and this is base 5 over -7. So we have to raise the power. And what is the power of, what is the base of ln? What base is this? If you know the base, then you raise that base. Last time, remember, we have log 3 something. Then the base is 3, so I raise it to 3 power, right? What is the base in this case? This is log what? Log base. Ln is log base what? Well, do you guys know what's the opposite of ln? Look at your calculator, it will tell you. If it doesn't know what is the opposite of ln. What do you see in your calculator right underneath or right above ln? You guys have calculator, right? What's right above ln? What is the opposite of it?
E.
E, yep. This is E. So in this case, we will E both sides. And ln and e will cancel. So what we left is x equals to e to the power of -5/7. And this is what we call as exact form. And now you guys go ahead and take out your calculator and figure out what is this number is, because I think all your homework question wants approximation. In my task is also one approximation. So I do not need an exact form. I need an approximation form. So go ahead and take out your calculator. Everyone, please do this because again, it can be in your test. Take out your calculator and figure out what is e to the power of -5/7. Anyone go ahead and answer? 0.490. Let's see, I haven't done that. -5/7. Yep, 0.490 is correct. Yep, that is correct. Yep, you had around the 3 decimal place. I think your online your test is also 1 in 3 decimal place. So make sure you guys know how to round to 3 decimal place. Yep, this is correct. Good. Next, we will skip from 19 to 21. You will get ln x plus 7 equals to ln x minus 8 minus ln x plus 8. Now, it's a, oh, by the way, I forgot to check my answer. Ooh, I always forget to do that. So in the test, do not forget to check because this is a log equation. You have to check it. So what do you do here is take this the 0.490, plug it inside this x, and see, is this positive, negative, or 0? What happens when you plug this number inside this x? Is this number positive, negative, or 0? Since 0.490 is a positive, so it is a positive, so this is check. Otherwise, if you redid this, you got 0.590 in your calculator. You can also do 3 minus 7 ln ans. Ans means your previous answer, and press equal and see what you get. You should get number 8. So there are a few ways for you to check. One way is you put this number inside this x and check if they are positive, negative, or 0. If they are positive, means it's checked. If you got negative or if you get exactly 0, then it's not good. Or you can use your calculator, put in down 3 minus 7 ln ans because your x is answer, your previous answer. And when you hit enter, you should get 8. And that means that's correct. But if you didn't get 8, means that this number is wrong. So there are a couple of ways for you to check your answer. But the easiest way is to check are they positive, negative, or 0. That's the one I always tell students. You guys all right checking here? This is how we check your answer, and you have to check it. It's required. Now, 21 is giving us this question, this equation. So a lot of students say, oh, look at that, they're all ln, ln, ln. So what do I do is I just cancel it. And I got x plus 7 equals to x minus 8 minus x minus 8. I distribute my negative. And then you solve for x here. Do you know how many points you get here? Big fat 0 in your test, in your final. So make sure do not do this. The reason why you cannot do this is because this has 2 terms. If you have ln something equals to ln something, then yes, you can cancel this. But since you got 2 terms here, you are not allowed to cancel like this. That's why you get big zeros in the finals. Okay. So, so what you need to do in this case is you have to combine them. So you have to combine them into 1 ln. So this is already 1 ln. So that's good. So what you need to do here is you have to combine this to become 1 ln. This is from the previous section. What do you do when you subtract? Should we multiply or should we divide? This is from previous section. When you subtract, are we multiplying or are we dividing? We divide. So which one go on top, Mercedes? X minus 8 or X plus 8? And if you misplace this, everything is going to be wrong. X minus 8 goes to top, very good. And then 8x plus 8 goes to the bottom. So you actually have to combine. So if you have a multiple terms here, you have to use the properties that you learned on previous section to make them as single log, we call it. And then next, now you got one ln here and one ln on the other side, you can cancel it. So what we have in this case is x plus 7 equals to x minus 8 over by x plus 8. Does anyone here know how to solve this equation? Anyone know what to do first once you get into here? How do we get rid of this piece? The one that have fractions of x plus 8. You multiply it to this side. So you multiply x plus 8, yep, to this side. Then what you need to do with this is you have to FOIL it out. So what is the foiling of this? X squared plus, how many x we have here?
7x.
And also how many x?
8. And
So what's 7x plus 8x?
15.
15x. And then what's the last term when you FOIL?
56.
56. And because this is an x squared, so you have to make this equals to 0. So what you're going to do with this x minus 8, you have to move it to the other side. So this x, when you move, become negative x. This negative 8, when you move, become positive 8. Now you need to combine like terms. You get what? X squared plus 14x, because you subtract 1x. 56 plus 8, you get what? 64, right? Yep, that's 64. And now with this, you need to factor it. Because it's an x squared term. So can someone tell me what times what is 64? Make sure you add them up, you get 14. 8 and 8 does not work because 8 and 8 give us 16. Right, 8 plus 8 is 16, I need 14. So 8 and 8 does not work. You want to know another one? Four and 16. That also doesn't work because you didn't get 14. You get 20. You're fine. Make sure you know how to factor here. So can we factor here? I don't think so. I think that's 8, 8, and 1 and 64 is no good. Right? So we cannot factor this. So what happens if we cannot factor this? It's not factorable. You have to use your quadratic formula. So this is a thing about this kind of question is if you cannot factor it, you have to use quadratic formula. So what you get when you use a quadratic formula? Negative b, right? And negative b is 14, so negative 14. Plus and minus b squared, so 14 squared. Minus 4 times a. A is 1, that's good, we can skip it. C is 64, so we times 64. all over by 2a. 2a is 2 times 1, which is 2. So take out your calculator, and I want you guys to figure out what is 14 squared minus 4 times 64. That one is easy to calculate using a calculator. 14 squared minus 4 times 64 is negative 60. You got negative 60? Let me double check with my, that calculator is actually not good. 14 squared minus 4 times 64. You guys got that number? Yep,
Yeah.
negative 60.
Yeah.
Yep. So what does that mean when you have a negative number in the square root? And you guys remember what you guys did in chapter 3? What happens when they're negative in the square root? It's become what? It becomes imaginary. So if you have this number, do we have an answer in this case? We don't. Okay. So for this question, x plus 7, x minus x plus 8, we don't have answer in this case. So your answer in this case will be no solution. You guys with me here? You guys with me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's no solution because of this is I. But if this is a number, that is let's say this is a positive 60, then you have to use your calculator to do this one. Okay. So usually in your test, yes, Bohar, this is in your test. Usually in the test, you do not need to use quadratic formula. Actually, you can factor this one out. So example will be like question number 23. This is the one that you see in the test. Do you guys need to take pictures of this one? Because I'm running out of room here. Sorry. There you go. So for question 23, this is the one that I will the one that is in your finals. So for question 23, again, because there is multiples log 4, you cannot simply cancel them. So what do you need to do? Again, you cannot cancel this, this, or this. And then you try to solve for x, you get a big 0 for that test. So don't do this. So what you guys have to do here? Remember last time was the first thing you did on this question 21? What we do on the back part, make it as a 1 log. So which one here on question 23, you had to make it as a 1 single log?
Log 4x and then.
Yep, this one.
Yep.
And last time is minus, so we divide. This time is what? Addition. So what you do with addition? Last time we divide because of minus. This time is addition. Addition means you have to what? Multiply them. So you have to take x times x plus 2. This one, the right-hand side is already in a single log, so you do not need to do anything with it. So now the log 4 is canceled because they are all, both of them are both log 4. So now you can factor, you can distribute this. So you will get x squared plus 2x, and then this is x plus 6. And because of the square, you have to make this over there to make it equal to 0. So we get x squared plus 2x. This x become minus x minus 6 because you move all this to that side. So combine like terms, you get x squared plus x minus 6 equals to 0. This one you can factor. So this is the one that you get in my finals where you can actually factor it. You do not need to worry about using quadratic formula. If you want, you can use it, but factoring will be faster. So does anyone here know what is the factor for 6 here? This one should be easy. You guys should know this.
3, x
Yep.
plus 3, x minus 2.
So this is x plus 3 and x minus 2. And then you solve for x. So x in this case is -3 and x in this case is +2, right? Because you get -3 and +2. And a lot of students, this is what they do. All right, this is my answer. I'm done. Move on to the next question. And if you give me like this, I will take 1 point off in your test. Everything is correct. Does anyone here know why I take a point off in your finals if you do like this?
You can only use the positive one.
You are correct. You haven't checked your answer. So when you plot the -3 inside your x, you notice that this becomes -3. So this is actually is no good. The only answer that you have in this case is 2. So this is how we check our answer for extraneous. And we do not want this to become negative or 0. That's why if you do like this without checking, you get a point off in your finals. So your answer in this case is just 2. You guys all right? So this is the type of questions I will ask in your finals. So make sure you guys know what to do with it. Questions so far with this section before we go on to the word questions? Yeah, we have a word questions coming up. Okay, if you don't, I really strongly suggest you guys to take a picture. Those who, this is for sure, take your pictures here because it's going to be in your finals. Before we do some word problems. You guys all right? Okay. Bohar, did he just? Bohar, can you take a picture of this because this is coming out in your finals? And make sure you check your answer for extraneous. Okay, next, we're going to talk about word problems. So the word problems that we have here is going to be on 5-5. So 5-5 is all about word problems. So the only formula you need to worry about when you do the word problems is your just the exponential growth and so these are the 2 ones that you need to know. The rest of it, the logistic growth, the log model, you do not need to worry about. So make sure you know the exponential growth and the exponential decay model. This is the important piece. So how do we know it's exponential growth? It sounds like PERT. Remember the PERT that you guys learned, A equals PRT. So that is the growth model. So this is the growth model, AEBX. And for the decay model, your BX is negative. So a growth model means your power is positive. That means it's keep on growing. When I say the model is keep on growing, means that it's keep on increasing. For example, like world population, the world population is exponentially growing. It means that it started up very little, and then now it's grown really fast, exponentially. Example is like coronavirus. If you look at coronavirus back in January, February this year, it's not a lot of people, maybe 100, 200 people in the whole world. But now it's like million because it grows exponentially. It means it grows very slow at the beginning, and then at the end, it goes really fast. This is called what we call exponential growth. Exponentially decay model is where the model is decaying. That means it's getting lesser and lesser. So it decays very fast, and then after that, over time, it decays slowly. For example, for exponentially decay model is when you take a medicine like ibuprofen or any medicine you take. When you first take the medicine, the first hour, the first 2 hours, is exponentially decay, means the drugs inside there is getting smaller and smaller really quick. But then after that, over time, the drug is not effective anymore. So you have to retake it again after 6 hours, because the first 2-3 hours it is effect, and then after that the power is getting smaller and smaller. So this is one of them is the drugs that you take. So it's exponential decay model. The other one is a half-life of radioactive. So half-life of radioactive means that you have a radioactive, and by the half-life years that radioactive have, it will cut into half of the amount. So for example, if you have 1 gram of plutonium, and plutonium takes around like 8,000 years to cut it by half. So after 8,000 years, your 1 gram become 0.5 gram. And then after another 8,000 years, your 0.5 gram will cut into 0.25 gram. So it keep on cut into half of that. So what happens is your plutonium is decaying, it's getting smaller and smaller. But if you keep on going 8,000 years for infinite times, you still have plutonium around, but the amount is very small. So that's the reason why that a lot of people say the plutonium, you are not, you have plutonium, but you will not able to get rid of it forever, because you still have the little amount of it left over. So that's the reason why that, so we are talking more about these 2 models here. The rest of them you do not need to worry about. So one of the problems that we use a lot is this one, question 8. So please pay attention because it's in your finals. So this is about radioactive isotope. So you given us the half-life of that is 5715. The initial quantity is 37.5, and the amount after 1,000 years we do not know. So this question 8, please pay attention. Okay. Now, the first thing is we know this is a decay model. The reason why it's decay model is because it's a radioactive, it's cut into half-life. And the model is used the same model that we have over here. So it's y equals to AE negative BX. Now, for those students who doesn't know what is this AE negative BX, you can compare it with PERT. I think you see this before in your 5.1 or 5.2. Does anyone remember what is A stands for in the PERT? And that is your Y. So this is the same as that one, but in a different, variables. So A stands for final amount, and P stands for initial amount. R stands for the rate, and T stands for the time. So this is the same thing. Your Y is your final amount, your A is the initial amount, your B is your rate, and your X is your time. Exactly the same, but it's just in different variables. So the first thing is we need to find your rate, your B. This is the first thing you need to do. So finding the rate is easy. It's actually ln half over by your half-life. So if you guys in taking chemistry, you are in luck because this is a lot in your chemistry class. Okay, so if you want to find your B, you take ln half divided by your half-life. So in this case, it is ln 0.5 divided by half-life. In this case, is 5715. So I want everyone here to take out your calculator and find this number. And this is what we call your rate. We use B in this case instead of R. And some students use this formula too, but I'm fine. It's good too. It doesn't matter what formula you use, as long as you know that is a correct one. Anyone got an answer here? ln 0.5 divided by your half-life. Should not be tough to calculate that. Negative, yes, it's negative 0.000. Can you round this number? Can you round this answer? The answer is no. You actually have to use bunch of decimals. The good news is, if you already calculate this, we represent this ANS in your calculator. Okay, so since you have a negative here, please pay attention. This is very important. A lot of students make these mistakes in the finals. Since this is a negative, this negative is no longer needed, because if you put a negative and a negative that become positive, then it's no longer decaying. It becomes growing. And as you know that this is not a growing case, this is a decaying case. So that's the reason why that if you find out this is a negative here, please remove this negative, because if you put a negative, you guys know, right? Two negative become positive, that will make a problem. Okay, so that is your B. A is your initial amount. By reading this question, can you tell me what is your initial amount is? Your initial amount is 37.5. And X is your time. Do you know what is the time given this question? How many years they want you to figure out? The time is after 1,000 years. So X in this case is 1,000. So what you do here is plug everything back into this equation. So Y equals to 37.5, that's your A. E is still your E because that's your exponents. And B is your answer. And again, if you don't use answer, you have to type all these numbers inside, which is going to be a lot of work, times X. X in this case, 1,000. And don't forget, because this is all in the power, so you have to use a parenthesis on it. So go ahead, find this number, and that will be your answer for question 8. Take out your calculator and figure it out. And yes, this will be posted in your D2L. And yes, this is your last Zoom meeting. So we do not have a Zoom meeting until next Monday when you have a Zoom testing. Please make sure you guys attend the review section an hour before your test, because it's gonna help you. Guarantee you that. Anyone got an answer? Not now. Eric, I think you put a negative in there, so make sure you ignore the negative, because your answer should be less than this number, because you're decaying. Decaying means that you should be less than your initial amount. Your answer is already above that 37.5, so yours is growing actually. So the reason why I think is because you have a negative in front of you. So get rid of a negative. Go ahead and try. I want Eric, as I told you, this is your test, right? So go.
Oh, I don't know why, but I get different answer for B.
You don't get negative 0.0012?
No, I get negative 1.21, a lot of number times 10 to the power of negative 4.
That's the same thing. It's the same. This is scientific notation. They are the same. Yes, Kara, that is correct. 33.217 is correct. Now, Eric, since you already used your calculator for already, you might need to recalculate your B again before you type this, because your answer is different now. So you have to recalculate for Eric. If you got the first time wrong, you have to retype this again and put it in there. The answer is 33.217. And it's in your final, so make sure you guys know how to do this. Questions?
For that B, we don't enter 0.0012.
You have to use negative 0.0012 with all the decimals.
Okay, that's what I was doing wrong. I stopped at 12.
Yep, you cannot stop at 12. You have to use all the decimals. That's the reason why we use A and S here. Otherwise, you have to use I don't know how many decimals, like what Borja said, like all the decimals. And the reason why you cannot round this is because this is not your final answer yet. This is your final answer where you can round.
Okay.
So that's the reason why that is different. Borja, you might need to mute yourself. Thank you. You guys okay with this number? I know Kara got it. Now, we're going to do another question similar to number 8, which is number 20. So your finals can be 8, it can be 20. What is the difference between 8 and 20 is now on question 20, it's not given us the initial amount. It's given us everything except the initial. That means A is not given to us. So instead of all 1, 2, 3, 4 variables here, 3 of them is provided to you, 1 of them is not. So like this question, the Y is not provided to us. So in this question, first, again, you need to find B here. Does anyone here know how to find B in this case? Using your half-life formula. Ln of 0.5 divided by what? What is a half-life of this radioactive isotope? 1,599. So make sure you use your calculator. And again, if you don't have, usually all your calculators should have an ANS button. If you don't have an ANS button, you have to write down all your answer. It's negative something. Anyone got this number? One 599. Do not use 1600. Oh, I'm gonna round this. You got everything wrong. Negative 4.33 something. Blah 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 times 10 to the negative 4. Well, how do you got this one? Well, some of you get negative 0.000433. Again, cannot round this. No rounding here. This will be your ANS. So we know that's your B. We do not know your A because A is your initial amount. So we doesn't know A. But we know the time is 3,000. So your X in this case is 3,000. But they also give us Y. Last time we find Y, but this time they want you to find A. And Y in this case is 1.3. So now what you need to do here is you have to use this formula and plug it in there. So Y in this case is 1.3. A is A, we doesn't know A. E to the B, B in this case is your ANS. As I told you, don't either you type everything out, no rounding, times 3,000. Because your time is 3,000. Then this is in parentheses. So now my question is, how do you solve A here? Yep, Kara, that's good. What you need to do is you have to use your calculator, type this whole thing up. So go ahead. And then after that, you divide your answer. Yes, you are correct, Kara. So once you finish this, you divide this with your ANS. Yes. So what is e to the, this is, again, you have no rounding. Again, once you start to round, you get it wrong. And that's why you come, a lot of students get this answer wrong in your online homework. Is because you round, and once you start rounding, you get you get a wrong number. 0.272405. Again, no rounding. Then after that, you have to divide this by him. But instead of all these numbers, we use the A and S button. So A in this case is 1.3 divided by N and A and S. So that will came out to be 4.7723. So what is the initial amount in 2 decimals place? It's going to be 4.77. So again, if you need to take a picture, please take a picture here, and we are actually running out of time here. So please watch the video. Yes, I do have videos for this from my last semester. So please do watch these videos. I'll show it to you where is it at. So please go take a picture here. Again, class, this kind of questions is coming out in your finals. Please make sure you guys know what to do with it. This is very important. It's like 5 points for this kind of questions in your finals. So for those students who want to know how to do these word problems, you can go to the D2L website, and then just past scroll down here. There is a 5.5. Do you see this one on D2L on the announcement? This is the one that is doing word problems. So actually there are 2. So, and then this is 9.1. So I really highly recommend you guys to watch these 2 word problems videos. This will take care of 5.5 and 9.1. 9.1 is actually super easy. So if you are frustrated with 5.5 and you do your homework, go do 9.1, because 9.1 is actually so easy, where you use elimination and substitutions to substitute. So they are very easy. And yes, 9.1 is in your finals also. Okay, so make sure you guys try to do those. And again, 5.3 and 5.4 homework is due tonight. 5.5 and 9.1 is due on this Sunday by midnight. Anyone have any questions we have here?
We have a time to do question number 7.
7 on which one?
5.5.
5.5? Okay, we'll
Yeah.
see what. Let's see. 5.5 number 7.
Yes.
This one. This one, I think you did it before, right? Oh, you double. Okay. So question number 7, they want us to figure out what time if it's compounded annually, monthly, daily, continuously. So for annually, monthly, and daily, you have to use this formula, the one that we talked about last time. And for the continuous, the part, this is ABC. For part D, the continuous, you got to use the per. So what happened is your investment is gonna be double. So I'm gonna do B because ABC is the same. So when I say monthly, means N in this case is 12. And what happens when I say your investment is double, means your A is gonna be 2P. That means that P is your initial amount. And when I say double, means you double. So if your initial amount is 1,000, then your final amount in this case is 2,000, double it. So in this case, your initial amount is P, then this is 2P. 1 plus your rate in this case is 5.2%, so it's 0.052. Over by 12, and it's 12. And then 12 times T. This is the one that we did, the time is the one that we need to figure out. So how do we solve for t here? The first thing we do here is we have to divide both sides by p. So you will get 2 equals to 1 plus 0.052 over 12t. Now, because of this one is exponents, so we have to log both sides. This is from chapter 5.5. Exponents, you do log both sides. And then what you need to do next is you have to bring this exponents down because we have that formula. So what we have in this case is log 2 equals to 12t log of all this icky stuff. And you find out that I didn't change. Again, if you use your calculator to do this, you cannot round your answer. That's the reason why I did not do anything on it. And then the last thing we need to do is, because we want to solve for t, so I divide everything here by 12 log whatever you have here, that 1 plus 0.052 over 12. So everything you see there. So you will get t by itself here. But when you put this in your calculator, you need to have an extra parenthesis here. It's because this has been multiplied. So you actually have to do this one first before you divide with the log 2. So that's the reason why you have a parenthesis in here. So when you, so this is how we do this question number 7 to find t here. You have to actually, so this is your answer in this case. You have to use your calculator to do it. Same thing happens in, so you have to do it annually. Annually means n is 1. Daily means n is 365. So you just replace this with that, the n that we have, and repeat this. For continuously, for part D, you have to use this one. Again, your A in this case will be 2p because it's double. PE, your rate is 0.052t. Again, we need to solve for t. And as the first thing we do last time, we divide both sides by p. So that will cancel out. So what we left here is 2e of that 0.052t. Now, last time we logged both sides because this is a normal exponent. But for this case, because you have an e, we cannot log both sides, we ln both sides. So that's the difference between these two, is one is log, one is ln. And the ln and e will cancel out. So, so in order for us to solve for t, you just divide this by 0.052. So this is, use your calculator for that. So the continuous one is actually a bit easier work to do compared to the annually, monthly, daily here, which your calculator is a bit more difficult. Okay, so I would recommend you to watch it if you didn't get this. So make sure you guys know what to do for this question number 7. You okay there, Bohar?
Yeah, I will watch again the video.
I watched the video. It's going to be very similar to what I did here. All right, I'm going to stop here. So make sure you guys finish up all your homework. You got only 4 more left, and then you got a final next week, and then after that you're done. If you have any questions, please let me know, because I need to end here. I need to stop sharing and stop recording.